first, it's a proof of my writing skills, yes. And second, it's not for the basic function. The basic function I mentioned the reason. But as well as I'm trying to defend the basic function here, I want people to know that I can also defend the function beyond that thing. Okay. Those functions are basically to show that I can, sorry? Sorry. Those that are looking, those functions are basically to show that I can also do something. I can also impact in the additional things. They are not for the basic things.
Okay.
Thank you.
I understand.
Okay. So I hope you get the literary device where I say I'm going to buy yam, potato, and tomatoes. If I'm to take out yam, the sentence should make complete sense. I hope you get it. Should I repeat myself?
Yes, please.
I am going to the market to buy yam, potatoes, and tomatoes. If I'm to take out yam, the sentence should make complete sense.
Exactly.
The first three sentences in page 2. These writing skills had made me a recipient of several awards, such as, kindly take out from bronze all the way to essay competition and read out the sentence for us.
Yes, I'm trying to localize what.
Second page, first sentence. These writing skills had made me a recipient of several awards, such as from a to essay competition. Take that phrase out and read the whole sentence.
Take what out, please?
Bronze distinction at the 2017 edition of the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. Take it out.
Yes.
And read the sentence to the very end.
Okay. These writing skills has made me a recipient of several awards, such as several church and primary school awards received in Cameroon in recognition of my writing skills.
Does that sound right to you?
Pardon?
Does the sentence now sound right to you?
Okay.
It's a yes or no question.
Yes, the sentence sounds grammatically correct.
Oui. Bonsoir.
Oh, bonsoir. J'espère que vous vous portez bien.
Thank you.
Okay, d'accord.
You have a last question.
My last question.
Thank you, sir.
So my last question. In your first policy, you mentioned it is my plan to actively work together to bring about a culture of writing and debating competitions. Please, are you aware of any such initiative within the MSA?
Debate competition. Yeah, there was a debate competition. I think some of the participants are even present in this room. Second year COVID arrived. I know there are debate writing competition, but as you mentioned, the last point, if you continue reading the paragraph, also I will prioritize ways to improve the editorial committee. What do I mean by that? So this competition, though there's publicity, right? I said like promote, improve. Yeah, there's publicity, but not all students have access to this kind of information. When I say access, I mean information of this such activities. Now, when I'm saying I will include a culture, I chose my word carefully. Culture means long-lasting development, sustainability. I don't want to say something that I was in first year debate competition. I am third year. There is no activity. I was in third. That's culture. That is an event of the year. Me, I want to introduce a culture. I want to be precise with that. Thank you, sir.
All I wanted to say from there is that there's nothing like an editorial committee to begin with. What's your take on that?
The best of my knowledge,
that
it's an editorial committee, unless I'm mistaken. But there's a committee in charge of the editorial aspect of the MSA.
It's an editorial subcommittee, Article 37.
Oh, okay, thank you for the correction.
Good. Noe? Noe?
Oh, yes, please.
We are here.
No, yes, no,
Are you aware of your surroundings?
Pardon?
Are you aware of your surroundings? Remember my chair asked you whether you were aware of where you are.
Yes, please.
Where are you?
Oh, in the manifesto room in front of my panel and in front of some aspirants, the MSA members that are coming to see if I'm capable of being an impactful MSA General Secretary. This is where I am right now, standing in front of you.
Okay. Please send me to the heading.
The heading,
Yeah.
Manifesto conduct Noé Otniel, running for the position of the General Secretary of the Medical Students Association of KNUST.
Are you intending to impeach anyone?
Pardon?
Are you intending to impeach anyone this evening?
I'm not getting you very well.
Are you intending to impeach anyone this evening?
No. Actually don't get your question, to be very precise. I want to understand your question, please.
What year are you running? What academic year are you running for?
I'm running for the 2022, 2023. I'm going to enter position for the 2022-2023 academic year, to be precise.
So what is there? What do you have there?
They type my name and the position I'm running for.
So do you see any wrong with what you have written over there? Since you were reading a manifesto addressing a particular time in the academic calendar that you want to be of service to us. Do you see anything wrong with what is there?
To be very honest, considering the period and knowing that we are in an electoral period. Yes, excuse me, are you getting me? I'm saying that to be honest, considering that we are in an electoral period, and that each and every aspirant standing here is campaigning for the next academic year. Personally, I thought there's no mistake in my title. Personally, thank you very much.
Okay, so I won't fault you for the explanation you've given, but then I just want to correct you and admonish you that whenever you are signing certain body of works like this out, you make sure everything is in the right position, especially with regards to dates. Because when it comes to legal and ethical problems, that's where we find you wanting. Do you get me?
Yes, sir.
So I was going to sack you for not knowing where you are and why you were here this evening. And with what you're giving, I think it's okay.
All right.
Thank you very much for that.
So your last set of questions.
Thank you.
So you have interesting politics, which I must commend you. But how long have you been in medical school?
I've been in medical school for 3 academic years.
3 academic.
Yes, please.
Have you been part of? You've been part of some committees, right?
Yes, please.
Which
I've been part of the electoral committee of the KSN.
That's all.
Yes, this is for committee of the MSA. Yes.
So my question is, why is it that you are now bringing these interesting ideas on board?
Why is it?
You are now bringing these interesting ideas on board.
Pardon me, I'm not getting the message.
Let me come again.
Yes.
My question is, you've been here for 3 years.
Yes, please.
Are you now thinking about these policies, or is something that you've been thinking about for a very long time?
Something that I've been thinking about for a very long time.
So why are you presenting it now?
I'm not presenting it now.
When did you first present it?
General Assembly of first year, I mentioned about international student message for the international student forum. General Assembly of this year, I mentioned about activities to promote talent. I was present. So this thing, I'm just taking a step to go forward to also be in the active body to execute this activity.
Excellent.
But this is not the first time I'm thinking of.
So, in an unfortunate event where you don't end up winning the election, what will you do with these ideas?
That is why I'm going for the position. So in case I don't win the position, like since first year, as I told you, this is not the first time I'm coming with this idea. So in case I don't win the position, let's be realistic. First year I've been advocating for it as a member. Second year there was COVID. There was General Assembly. In case my memo is correct, it was on Zoom. Yes, third year I came and advocated for some of them. In case if you want a student that keep on advocating, then don't vote for me. If you want a student that stop advocating and being the student body, vote for me, because I'm going for an all or nothing law. I don't intend to go again if I lose or something.
All right.
I want to bring the change today.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Noe,
Yes,
you mentioned something about mentorship programs.
Yes, please.
What do you think is defective about the mentorship program?
Oh, I think it's effective about them. Well, okay. Thank you. This is a very good question. Yes. So the mentorship program, from my personal experience, it has been effective. Why do I mean effective? It has been effective for some students, to be precise. Because my mentorship program when I was in second year, I have mentees, but not mentees assigned to me. Because the mentorship, some benefited for me, some didn't benefit for me. I'm sure some of the students in HB2 that are listening to me right now don't have mentors, like mentors assigned by the MSA. But those that got mentors, and those that got serious mentors, to be precise, they really benefited advice, how to even settle in medical school, how to even settle in Ghana for some international students. Like the program was really effective. But now I want now to expand the program to make it reachable to everyone. Yeah, so it's just about developing a concept that has already been settled by a previous administration. That's why I'm saying that it has been effective. Me putting it into words is saying that we should put more effort on it so that people like me or people that don't have to get for the next generation, the next HB2, HB1. Because me, I'm mentoring people, but not under, it wasn't assigned.
So, according to you,
yes, please.
Even though it's effective, it's not all inclusive.
All inclusive?
According to you, even though it's effective, it's not all inclusive.
What do you mean by all inclusive? I want to.
Because according to you, you are saying it's effective, but it's not reaching everyone.
Yes, please.
And that's what you hope to do.
Yes, please.
So I want you to outline the steps in which you hope to include everyone, stepwise, in a minute.
Okay. So as I said, it has been effective for serious mentors and serious mentees. So I want to do the mentor-mentee program by releasing a Google form of those that want to be mentors, to be precise, because we need willing mentors. You know, the willing mentors now, I will take information of international students. I'm a board in the International Student Association. Link every international student to a Ghanaian student to ease the mingling. That's the image I want to bring, first of all. Secondly, now the others are also link them internationally, like Ghanaian HB2s to Ghanaian HB1s. But the Google form is important, necessary to know those that are willing, to avoid a situation that you have a mentor that you don't even know the number. I know people like that. So this is one of the things I intend to do. So a mentor may be assigned more than one mentee depending on the turnover of those that fill the form. This is exactly how I intend to do. Thank you.
With what you are saying, that means you are only going to be using willing students that are willing.
Yes, please.
Right?
Yes, please.
So in an association of 1,200 students, let me just say in a year group where there's an average of 200 students,
yes, please,
and only 20 people are willing to be mentors, how do you overcome the overload and the ratio per person?
Okay. So in this situation, because me, I'm in the practicability of plan. In this situation where I don't hope it happens, but if it happens, that are 20 people. The 20 people, I'll assign them a maximum of 5 mentees, a maximum. Because I know that 5 mentees, they can help them with life. It means that the goal I want to achieve will not be achieved in that year. And I will just try to promote other people in the HB2, because the mentor mentee is HB2, HB1, for it to continue to graduate. So I'll try to advocate for it to the HB2 that please get involved. So that even if it's not achieved in my academic year, a part, like a level will have been set. Because all these programs I've mentioned, let's not lie ourselves, some may be achieved this academic year I'm coming, and some they are sustainable development plans. So I want to set a pace. That is why I'm coming to the position. Thank you, and I hope I've answered well your question. Thank you very much.
Okay. So are you also for this fact saying there's no existence of situations where we have international students already assigned to Ghanaians?
Pardon?
Are you saying there's no existing relationships per the mentorship program where international students have already been assigned to Ghanaian students?
There is, but I'm saying that there is no a sole situation where all the international students are assigned to Ghanaian students. And after you heard, and this, if there's a sole situation, this might reduce the picture of some classes having issues of mingling with the international students. So for me, it's solely. I didn't say some, I say solely, all. Thank you very much.
Further on, when you assign students,
yes,
how do you intend to follow up and track effectiveness of the program?
The effectiveness of the program. Okay. So to answer this question, I will basically, the general secretary must ensure fluent communication, meaning what, it must be in a good relationship with students. During this campaign, for example, I've taken the number of several students in the HB1s, HB2s, because practically it's about checking up, and you need to check up from the source. So international students, they can be checked up immediately from the International Student Association. Ghanaian students, they can be checked up also by text messages. Oh, how is it going? Like speaking in person, going on the ground, not just doing plans where you can easily access the students. So what I exactly intend to do, check up on those that are in the program, because I have their data, I have their numbers from the Google form, and see if the program is effective or not. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Yes, please.
I have a question.
Feel free.
Have you held any position in the ISE?
I am held in a position currently in the ISE.
What position?
Head of Academic and Internship Committee.
Okay.
Also, you can call me the academic chairperson of the ISE.
Okay. And as one of the heads,
Yes, please.
is there anything you've done or you've suggested to help those in need in terms of financial support?
Yes, please.
Could you kindly elaborate?
Okay. Fellow medical students, the chairman, the panel. You know, I know why I'm calling each of every one of their names. I need you to be focused on my reply right now. If I'm saying that I'm coming to the MSA, I'm not a Ghanaian, I'm not a politician to say that, oh, I'm going for position. In the international students, present, even the current situation happening in the medical school, yeah, I didn't just tackle the medical school, I didn't just tackle the MSA, the KNUST administration. I've tackled the International Student Organization. I'm an executive there, but I don't have I'm not in the executive committee. What do I mean by that? I can advocate for something in the MSA, but if the president of the MSA can't back me up, it won't happen. And that is why I'm looking for a position that will help me reduce the chain of command so that I will be able to actively bring the change. That is the summary of why I'm coming. Also, one of the reasons why I'm coming here.
That's not the answer to the question.
Oh.
That's not the answer to the question.
Okay.
What have you done?
Okay, what I've done, last week I've met the ISA president, Ms. Onye Okoli, to advocate about the issue happening in our present ISA. 2 weeks ago, I went to the Dean of International Relations office. Though I'm the head of Academic and Internship Committee, I use that position because I organize academic competition. The winner got 1,000 CDs. I use that moment to take advantage when I'm meeting the Dean of Students to emphasize that why are international students not getting funding because of my need. And he told me that there are some rules that are not allowed, but that you look into that. In first year too, I went to the Dean of Students. I forgot the name of the Dean of Students in first year to also advocate for it. I'm well known in the KNUST administration, but in the ISA body as an advocator.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Final question. Within your first point, last statement, you say this will be made achievable through fluent communication with members of the respective KMSMD classes. I wanted to ask if you intend on adding class leadership to that particular communication.
Please repeat your question. I want to understand more.
Fluent communication with members of the respective KSMD classes.
Yes.
My question is, do you plan on involving the respective leadership of the classes?
Yes, please.
Do you know of the leadership of the various classes?
Yes, the president of HB2 is HB1 is Mr. Opoku. The president of the HB2 is Safwa. But these are just the name. I don't know if I'm responding to your question. But to also attack your question from a different angle, I intend to involve them by as a general secretary.
Oh, finish the president. That was my next question.
Oh, okay, pardon.
Finish.
I finish from the first angle I attacked.
Third year class president.
Third year class. Oh, Mr. Harry is my class president. I can't forget.
Fourth year.
Fourth year. I don't recall his name. I just have his number.
You know him?
Personally, I don't know him.
You know how he looks like?
Pardon?
You know how he looks like?
No.
Thank you. We are done. Thank you very much.
Any questions? Any questions?
Oh, my fellow gentlemen, feel free to ask any question. I'm ready to answer all of them. Yes, my fellow medical students. Good evening. you need to be precise on something. You need to be precise on something. The mentor mentee, I want some to be precise all those that are watching me now online and all those present in person. The mentor mentee program is to ease the communication between is the adaptation of the fresh coming medical students into the medical school. So this is the general, the most important rule. Now the reason you just stated now is an addition to it. So you need to be precise. Thank you very much. Pardon? Pardon? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, not that it has been done before. It is there. I'm not the one bringing the mentor mentorship program. I'm the one strengthening it. I just want to come and strengthen an idea that is already there. Okay? What is different this time is that, pardon? Oh, okay, okay. Please end all your questions so that I can take time and deal with it progressively. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, so if I understand where you are two questions, what is the need of strengthening? That's the second question. And the first question? Okay, okay, understand your question. Okay, I've replied to the question at the beginning, but for those that didn't get it, my fellow chairman here on the table, one of them asked me this question, why do I put, yes, they are my chairman, they are my chairman. We need to give respect to those that deserve respect. Those standing in front of me, I deserve respect. So they asked me this question, I think, of why do I want to bring something that's already on board? Please, class, I want every one of you guys to listen to me seriously. I'm not just here to decorate with words. So to answer your first question, there was an issue because of what? They just paired randomly HB2 with HB1. There's some HB2 that were not interested in mentoring. Mila was interested in mentoring. I even contacted my mentee. I don't know if it's a girl, the lady didn't pick up. Why? Some mentee, when we're not really fluent with the idea, and most of the mentors, to be precise, were not convincing. That is why I answered when they were asking me about the practicability of my plans, that I would choose those that are willing and precise. So in case everyone is willing, that's the ideal situation. In case few are willing, I will work with them.
All right,
There's no sense of putting many mentors and the things fall into place. Better work with those that can make things happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. No, fine, you can let him. It's fine. It's fine. I'm open. Yes, a small difference can bring a big impact. No, that's not the only thing. You can pair relevant, you can pair really mentors with really mentees, but in case you don't follow up, the system falls. You can pay workers to build a house, but in case you don't check up on the workers, the system falls. That is why one of my chairman, the panelists here, asked me, how will I check it up? Because they care about the sustainability of the project. And I reply by checking up on the members, put their numbers, and communicating with their class executive.
Okay, no, that's impressive. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir. And before leaving, yes, I can't leave without thanking you, panel, for all your wonderful questions, and thank you, the public, too. Nyamin Shrao. Nyamin Shrao.
Yeah. Hello. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Please, what's your name?
Nanama Aiden Sam.
And what are you doing here?
I'm here to read my manifesto as an
Testimony.
aspirant for the Exchange and International Relations Officer position of the MSA.
Sure. So you have 6 minutes to present your manifesto.
Okay,
After that, you have 20 minutes for deliberations and probably questions from the audience.
okay.
Are you prepared?
Yes.
Okay. So before you start, what time did you report at the quarantine room?
I didn't take note of the time.
But you need to answer. What time did you?
What time?
What do you think was it?
Around 7:30 p.m.
What time were you asked to? What time per community were you asked to report? What time was the vetting supposed to start?
The lesson was supposed to start at 6:30 p.m.
So what time were you asked to report?
So we were asked to report at the quarantine room around 7:30 p.m.
Mr. HC, is that what happened?
Manifesto by Nana Sam, aspirant for Exchange and International Relations Officer of the Medical Students Association for the 2022-2023 academic year. The chairperson, honorable panel members, colleague aspirants, fellow students. My name is Nana Sam, a fourth-year medical student. It's an honor to stand before this august house to read my manifesto, presenting myself as an aspirant for the position of Exchange and International Relations Officer of the Medical Students Association. This prestige office is one that cannot be overlooked by our administrative and executive bodies in their quest to provide a holistic learning experience to members of the association. It's one that requires hard work, dedication, excellent communication, and problem-solving skills, which are qualities I possess. As a member of the Exchange and International Relations Committee, I've been approached by members of the association who are burning with questions pertaining to the committee, with certain fears growing within the student body concerning exchange and other related issues. As the Exchange and International Relations Officer, I would attempt to resolve some of these problems and allay the fears of our beloved members by doing the following. Before the COVID-19 pandemic, students would usually embark on exchange programs every year to different locations around the globe. This allowed medical students to widen their academic, social, and cultural horizons worldwide and provide the opportunity for them to experience different approaches to healthcare. Everything came to a standstill after the pandemic. For the past 2 years, this important aspect of medical education has been lost. Primarily, I intend to start a revamp under the initiative I call Exchanges for the People. Under this initiative, I will work closely with subcommittee heads and members to negotiate with and persuade the school team in charge of exchanges by sending letters to organizations for sponsorship, getting health insurance for students in order to convince the school authorities that we are well equipped to travel. More importantly, it's a known fact that the general student body is unaware of the various exchange and elective programs available, not to talk of their visa requirements, the cost, and other important situations. Malcolm Forbes, the renowned publisher of Forbes magazine, once said, and I quote, "Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one," unquote. I plan to create an exchange manual which will contain the International Federation of Medical Students Associations, that's IFMSA, FGMSA, CNUSCMSA, and KSMB directives on exchanges, to display information about exchanges, elective programs offered by hospitals and medical students abroad, as well as other exchange opportunities. Another important factor of this policy is to create local exchanges in partnership with the National Officer for Research Exchange, NORI, of the FGMSA, where interested students in KNUSCMSA switch with students in UDS or UHAS for a practical practice program under good supervision, which will help the holistic experience. Plans for this great feat to occur are already underway, as the National Exchange Officer introduced a local pen pal system for all members of the Mother Association, FGMSA. The last tenet of the Exchange for the People initiative is to amass more slots by writing letters to the universities and hospitals with elective programs available and to establish a possible pen pal system. Furthermore, the International Medical Students Association, NISA, was launched on Thursday, 16 June 2022. This was established under the auspices of the Medical Students Association under the current Exchange and International Relations Committee, of which I'm a part of, to address the welfare problems of international students. Upon interactions with a number of these students, their major concern is how far they can learn the Twi language to communicate with patients at the ward during off-peak and personal day-to-day activities. The Twi Buddy system is an initiative for international students to learn Twi. In this program, each international student is assigned Twi buddies, a group of students who will be selected based on a Google form application. The Twi Buddies task is to teach and help with the understanding of Twi language by meeting the assigned students during breaks, after lectures or wards, or even on a WhatsApp platform. There will be a policy assessment system based on a curriculum where international students are given incentive-based tests every 2 weeks or 3 to measure their progress. I intend to make this initiative highly attractive to students by awarding the three-body free certificate for signing up and help international students through values and support. Mr. Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, I've been actively involved in the Medical Students Association since my first year. I was a member of the then project committee, the MSA Week committee in third year, the dinner planning committee, the exchange and international relations committee this current year. Vince Lombardi once said, and I quote, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence," unquote. Under my tenure, the committee will chase perfection, and it is my hope that our pursuit of perfection will bring us to the land of excellence. Long live the Exchange and International Relations Office. Long live the MSC. Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time and your cooperation. So let's go to paragraph. Is there one? Yeah, one. So it is one that requires one of your sub sentences. It's one that requires hard work, dedication, excellent communication, and problem solving skills,
Yeah.
which are qualities you possess. What do you have for us to back that? Should we take your word for it?
I've been involved in the, like I mentioned later on, I've been involved in the MSc since I worked in the project committee, where the project committee we were tasked to raise funds for the cervical cancer project in both first and second year. In second year, I raised the highest amount of money. The targeted amount was about 200 CDs. I raised about 500 CDs for the cervical cancer project. So I've been very dedicated towards my work with the MSc. Also, in third year, I worked with the MSA Week committee. We were in charge of planning the then MSA debate. We're also in charge of planning the chill out we usually have at the end of the week.
Thank you.
Yes, so
Let's go to the second paragraph. So, one of your sentences, you're like, under this initiative, I'll work closely with subcommittee heads and members to negotiate with and persuade the school team in charge of exchange. I want to know, is there any special reason why you started school team with a capital letter?
no.
Let's go to the this. Let's go to the Peabody program paragraph.
You can. Yes.
With respect to exchange, some people already laugh. They know what is coming. With respect to exchange, I mean, we've been through a lot emotionally, mentally, physically, financially, which I'm sure you are aware of.
Very well.
So we can't make the same mistakes over the years. Right? And at a time where exchange is a very sensitive topic, can't let anything at all go unpardonable. Because you'll be sending messages or letters, body of words across the world. And these are little things that could get you bounced even in a visa application. And you know that. Okay.
Thank you.
I rest my case for now.
All right, let's continue. So, with respect with the tree body program, that paragraph, let's read the last statement. Okay, I don't know whether it's a statement. You have to tell me. So, I intend to make this initiative highly attractive to students by awarding the tree body free certificate for signing up and helping international students feel valued and supported. Is it a statement, a question, an exclamation? Was it?
Yes, thank you.
So, wouldn't it have been nice to end it with the proper punctuation? Sure. All right, now let's start.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm interested in your problem solving skills.
Okay.
So let's go to paragraph 1. I've been approached by members of the association who are burning with questions pertaining to the committee, with certain fears growing within the students' body concerning exchange and other related activities. Then you go on to say, as the exchange and international relations officer, I would attempt to resolve some of these problems. And goes on. You have stated that you are someone with problem solving skills. You agree with me that this is a problem, but you didn't make mention of attempting to solve them. Rather, the Exchange and International Relations Office is the ticket you are seeking to attempt to solve those problems. So do I rule out your problem solving skills?
Take the question.
Very well. You have stated that you have problem solving, or you have a problem solving skill.
Very well.
And then you have been approached by members of the association burning with questions pertaining to the committee, with certain fears growing within the student's body. You agree with me that that's the problem. Now, you do not make mention of trying to solve the problem with your skill, but rather you go on to say, as the Exchange and International Relations Officer, which is what you are aspiring for, you would attempt to resolve some of these problems. So I'm taking it as the ticket you are seeking to solve that problem is the office of the Exchange and International Relations Office, and not necessarily because you have problem solving skills. You agree with me?
I understand your question.
So do you agree with me?
No.
You do not. Why?
Because my problem solving skills will be used or harnessed.
So why haven't you used them now? You are a member of the committee.
Yes, I'm a member of the
So
committee.
why haven't you used them now?
No, I just joined the committee this past year. This past year. Past year.
Can we move on?
Yes, we can move.
What are some of those fears that you have been approached with?
As to whether the students will be allowed to to an exchange in the subsequent years.
And what did you tell them?
Well, exchanges are a very sensitive topic, and there are various types of exchanges. The problem with the student body of the MSA is that most of us are not well aware of the type of exchanges there are and the various opportunities at hand. And with exchanges as well, there's a lot involved because in negotiation with the school head in charge of exchanges, there are certain things that you have to present in order to convince them to allow us to go for exchanges. So it's not just a straightforward exchanges. There's a lot of things.
So that's what you told them. Whose fault is it that members do not know the type of exchanges we have?
It's no one's fault.
No one's fault. So it's not your responsibility to educate the members on the types of exchanges we have as a member of the committee.
As a member of the committee, we are currently working on a document to educate members on the various types
So
of
it is your
exchanges.
responsibility.
It is our
So it is your fault.
You can't see that.
I can't see that. That will be your fun.
Thank you.
Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how so difficult do you think the work of an exchange officer is? Since being part of the committee for a year.
I'll do it as a 10.
A 10.
Yes.
Good. So with your initiative as adding the tree body program, how do you intend on balancing with that thing? That's the first part of that question.
Well, with relation to the MSA Constitution in Article 34, the Exchange and International Relations Office is not just exchange alone. There is the Exchange Subcommittee, the International Relations Subcommittee, and there's also the Research Subcommittee. And currently, NISA was established, which is the International Medical Students Association. So that's part of the duty of the Exchange and International Relations Officer, which is why encompassing everything, I would rate everything as a 10.
So I hope we both understand that international students are full members of the MSc according to the constitution.
Yes.
So why is it that the tree body includes only international students, or you assume all Ghanaian students can speak?
You can be added as well.
Why didn't you add us?
My major concern was to tackle the NISA, which is the International Medical Students Association. But subsequently, the program expands. It can encompass Ghanaian students that are not well versed in the tree language. That would be excellent.
All right. So with respect to the main policy you have, that's
Yes, the exchange.
exchange. Let's start. How do you plan to? You said that you mentioned some points of which you do or you activate in order for the exchange to be possible.
Yes.
Okay, so my first question is, currently, what's the school's stance on exchange?
Currently, the school did not allow students to go on exchange.
And when do you think, or when is the stipulated time for this?
2022, which would be nice.
So during your tenure, known that your year group ended
third years would go for exchange
People also need to work according to
plan.
plan.
Okay, sure. So this makes me reason that you've actually put things in place to achieve this
Things are still in the pipeline.
pipeline. Sure. So now you made mention of some health insurance policy.
Yes. Yes.
Can you please explain it?
So for exchanges, the reason why the school is really concerned about us traveling to other countries is that they should anything happen to any student we send out, the school may be blamed. Which is why before you travel, you should get a health insurance policy. In 2019, EcoBank, in collaboration with Old Mutual is an insurance company, donated about 30,000 euros each per student for
1,000 test.
in 2019. Yes,
Let me get the figures right. 30,000 per student.
yes, 30,000 euros. Yes,
Per
for
student.
health insurance. Should anything happen to students who travel outside,
Okay.
and
sure.
this was done through writing letters to these organizations, which is why I mentioned that I'll send letters to organizations for sponsorship to get health insurances. So when you present to the school that I've written this letter to this company, this is the amount we promise that the school is going to be sure that if anything should happen to a student when they travel outside, they'll be taken care of.
I understand that.
Okay.
It's quite clear. But then it's an abstract idea. Or you don't agree?
No idea.
Okay. It's an abstract in the sense that you are saying you will do this. But how
By writing letters,
have you started?
yes, we started. The
So-
parents committee has started.
So can you give us some gist about what you've achieved so far, or where you've written to, or what you plan to achieve?
Okay. So we wrote to some organizations, and they are still waiting for a feedback from them.
Okay, so in an unfortunate instance
Okay.
where they say no, does it mean all your plans are into the drain?
That's why we didn't write to just one
Yes.
organization,
How many have you written so far?
a number. I can't give a specific number.
Okay.
Just give me four.
Just give us. Just give us. Hello. Hello.
Just give me
Hello.
four.
Hello?
Four.
Is it working?
Do you hear me?
Pardon?
I said give me four of these associations, organizations,
I
establishments.
can't specify.
So don't take this the wrong way, but then how do you expect us to believe you?
Ama. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello? Plans are still underway.
See, you are answering like a politician. You know that. You know that. So let's be practical here, because part of this manifesto reading is to assess how practical and feasible your plans are. Now, can we have silence, please? Let's go. So, your whole point or your whole exchange idea, from what I read, is pivoted on these health insurance schemes.
No.
It's not. So you are telling me that if the health insurance is to fail, exchange will come on. Or you didn't? I wouldn't say that. But then you got me when I said pivoted.
Yes, I
So if the health
insurance thing is to fail, that means exchange will come on since it's not a pivotal instrument in this.
It depends. It also depends on the institution that you would be going to, because some institutions offer their recipients, students, free health insurance. So there's that as well.
So all I'm trying to here is the idea is there, and I respect that. But the point is, you are not giving me any flesh to this idea as to how you are going to achieve it. You told me you've written to a couple. Actually, you can't count. But I asked you to give me 4. They don't remember, which is quite unbelievable. My second point is, okay, so let me calm down. How connected are you?
In what sense?
In what sense? We are talking about exchange office. So how connected are you? In what sense? Let me clarify. So during 2020 or before COVID, there were 20 slots from the school, which was given ideally to the first 20 students of each class. So let's say if it were my class, the people with the best 20 averages would get it. But during those times, you could have more than 100 people, sometimes 200 people going for exchange. And these things came from writing, through embassies, and all those things. So if I'm asking you how well connected you are, I want to know, and you said plans are in the pipeline. I want to know, how connected are you? In that pipeline, how many schools have you written to? How many NGOs have you written to? What are your feedbacks and all those things?
Okay. So we've written to over 20 institutions.
Okay. Can we have like 3 names?
We have we've written to the University of Michigan, written to the University of Oxford, we've written to the University of Utah, and they are awaiting a feedback.
Do you know the MOU between KNUST and University of Oxford?
No.
That means you are not well informed of everything pertaining to the office you are running. Come on. This is not the fact that we are coming for you or anything. Once again, I'll reference you to something that happened last year. Right? This is not to bash anyone. We had a candidate come here. The same questions we asked him. The same questions we asked him. And give us the same kind of answers you are giving us. Same thing. And 1 year on, we are feeling some of the effects and implications. And we don't want certain schools for free, from feeding to their, how do they call it, tickets to everything. And they are paid for going in the name of KNUST. So if you write a letter, or you are called to the office, and we ask you, we heard a student has written a letter to Oxford University, how do you answer? Is it that you are trying to sabotage an already existing MOU? Ama, we want to know. Are you trying to sabotage a process? Or is it because we are giving you pressure? So you mentioned any university at all to lie to us. So it's 2 things. Are you lying to us or you are unaware? We'll leave that for later. Further on, the question of are you well connected is because I'm coming back to the 2019 thing you said. I don't know if you have proof of what you stated.
Yes.
Because I have some exchange students here who went on exchange who want to pay for their insurance.
We didn't cover the cost of every student. It was just the number of students in the FCMS. So there were representatives from
Slovenia
no,
conference.
from KNUST, from UDS, and from UCC, and from University of the Johannesburg.
So that also informs me. That's why I'm coming back. That particular that particular thing you are talking about, that insurance, was not for KNUST MSc. It was for the FGMSc. We had only 2 students from here going for that exchange. It's only in the exchange, it was the conference, the IFMSA conference, where they had to go and fight for slots. That was the year we had that issue with the voting, where someone went to go and look for slots for us. He came here, bought the slots, but we didn't vote for the person. So Nana, that's why we are begging you. Jerry knows, we are begging you. We asked Jerry the same question, are you well connected? He nearly lied to us. Because we want to have the hope that if you have 20 slots, that is coming to KNUST, per your links, and some of the things you can do, you can increase it to 60 or 40 or 30. Can you show us proof that that is what can happen? Because that's what you are saying, problem solving skills. It's not as we wrote the manifesto for you. It's there. Exchanges for the people. She has dubbed it exchanges for the people. It's just like one district, one. Yeah, it's there. That's why you have to be very, very careful. Aside the fact that we are having this discourse with you, I want you to admonish whoever is coming after you. So please, are you well connected? That's the question. You are coming back. Are you well connected? That we can have hope. So that from now, so from those in your class, they know that, oh, next year you are going for exchange. You're happy. Are you well connected?
We can have hope, but life is life.
Thank you.
Because should the COVID surge again, or should currently I'm hearing there's an outbreak of Marburg virus in Ghana. So we need to take all these eventualities into perspective.
Okay, so I mean, the health insurance is very important. You mentioned the figure of 30K per person. That seems to be a huge amount of money. Yet it's practical to be an insurance for the people who are insured. Now, there's a case where this particular insurance you're taking for catered for 2 people. Just 2. And here it's a class. How many are you in the class? 259. And I'm sure at least 100 people would want to go for exchange.
Yeah.
So, one, my problem is, or my question is, how are you going to secure these slots for these people? 2, if in some way, somehow, you're able to secure these slots, how are you going to make sure these people are well insured? What are your plans to, because they are in your manifesto, but how are you going to do it? That's my whole question.
So I've already started researching on institutions worldwide that offer elective programs for our students. Currently, I'm working on a letter to the Warren Alport University of Medicine in Brown University to accept students from us. We already have links with them. KNUST already has links with them. There's a doctor of internal medicine who is the middleman. So currently I'm trying to speak to them to see if they could open up slots for us.
All right. So now, with the same scenario, there are 100 people who want to go for exchange. And let's not forget, all these things are time bound.
Yeah, very.
And the time for exchange is practically 2 months. So you have a class where, let's say, 100 people would want to go for exchange. Maybe some way, somehow, you're able to secure 60. In our time, we would do balloting and picking. But in our time, there was no COVID. So nobody was thinking about health insurance and all those things. So how are you going to solve this? Because maybe you secure insurance for, let's say, 60 people. But then the 40 people, how are you going to share this? Are you going to wait Are you going to wait till, let's say, you are done with the balloting, or you're going to do the balloting way before you secure a slot? What's your plan towards this? In case the number of people who want to go are more than the slot you've secured, and yet everyone has to be insured. How are you going to address it?
So from the onset, we write to a lot of corporate and a lot of organizations that have corporate social responsibility for philanthropy. So then we plan from the onset. So we secure them. Once there are 100 people going, they would already have their health insurance plan, because for the school to allow them to go, then it means we would have already presented a health insurance plan to.
Excellent. So, hold on, I'm coming. So, someone or a fellow student is going to secure an insurance of 30,000 euros by him or herself, because there will be extra. I don't know if you get me. 100 people want to go. Maybe you've secured like 60. You understand? That means you can't share it amongst them. That means the extra people, they have to some way, somehow secure this insurance. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah, but then it also depends on the type of exchange that they will be going for, because with the IFMSA exchange, especially if it's a bilateral exchange, their insurances will be secured.
Oh, sure. Thank you. But then, do you have any plans for bilateral exchange? What are your plans so far?
Asking, are there any plans in place to secure more bilateral exchange lots?
Yes, so we are currently talking to the exchange students we have now to publicize Ghana when they go to their country, to enable more students from their side also come here, so that people from our side can go there.
Are you going to take the risk of traveling? You're ahead of time.
If that should be done, I will.
Are you going to fund it with your own money?
Yes.
So we are sure that it's your own money, not from our coffers. When you vote into office, your mind will change. Or you use our money to travel.
No.
Every candidate that has been here, I've given a personal opportunity to run us through their manifesto. I mean, off here, with a clear plan of action. Because I realized that I don't know what happened. I don't know the time for which you guys were given to submit your manifestos. Because there are a lot of problems with almost all of you, the manifestation presented. So now I'm giving you the opportunity to tell us, if I was your friend, you're talking to me one on one, like in a minute, if I'm voted, this and that and that and that policies I have in place, this and that I hope to do. It's a clear plan of action, and then the cost involved. So that right from the start, if my name is Festus and I'm meeting you and you tell me, Charlie, let's say I'm going for exchange, I'm doing that, insurance cost, that. I would have already signed myself whether I'm going or not. So clearly, elimination by rough tactics. You just tell us something about your policies. I mean, you know that you've written them there, but just talk to me. Talk to me.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nana Maidensam. I'm the candidate for the MSA Exchange and International Relations Office. So I have two main policies this year. My first policy is the exchanges for the people. And then my second policy is the Tree Bodies Initiative. With the exchanges for the people, my main aim is to increase our mass slots for us to travel outside, because exchanges are very important in broadening the academic, social, cultural horizons of students everywhere. In terms of the cost-benefit analysis, my plan for the Exchanges for the People initiative is to speak to organizations that have corporate social responsibility, to try and talk to them, write letters to them, to try and convince them to support us by granting us health insurances and sponsorship to travel. And also, my plan is to increase the knowledge of students also on the type of exchanges available, because I've realized that students are not well aware. And that is why I stated in my manifesto that I'll create an exchange manual. This manual will contain the directives of the IFMSA, the FDMSA, the KNUST MSA, and KSMB on exchanges. So that before you plan to go on an exchange, you already know what everything entails, the type of exchanges you can go for, and then there's what's available. And the Three Bodies initiative is something I came up with for international students, which is NISA that was recently established. And it's based on that.
Not just focus on international students, but one, have a clear plan of action. Improve everything with regards to exchange. It's time. The last but not the least, I want to ask you, this is a question that we always ask. Are you going to be fair and true to all? Or you are going to have biases? And
There will be no bias.
because I can see some people are here clapping for you.
It doesn't matter.
You all know. You all know. So please, I mean, you can actually promise us something to the people. You are looking to the camera. They are third years. Everyone.
So even before students are allowed on exchanges, my plan is that should we be allowed to go on exchanges this year, there will be a vetting process to scrutinize the students that will be allowed to travel. Thank you. So if you don't pass, you don't go. There will be a vetting process to scrutinize the students that would apply to go on exchanges. So there will be a board. The School of Exchanges will be on that board with other important key players in terms of exchanges. And then they would vet you based on certain criteria. So if you don't pass the vetting, then you don't go, unfortunately. So you have to merit it. I think it can be done. Yes. In the event that maybe the school authority, in the event that the school authority cannot vet the students out going for exchanges, the MSA can create a board or a panel.
Now, wouldn't that create bias?
So the panel, I don't think it would create bias.
So random as possible.
Yes, and fair.
So why don't you pick your pick?
Okay, we could also adapt the balloting system. That would be fair.
All right. Is the next candidate ready? If no, I have a question for you. So, with respect to the local exchange, why didn't it happen this year?
I'm not really aware of it.
In your manifesto?
Well, I wrote that plans were underway before the local system was established.
Okay, so What will be your improvement of that plan?
My improvement would be to work with the National Exchange Officer of the FDMSA and to find out the plans, the exact plans that are underway for this to get to.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Line in. Line in.
Hello? Relax, relax, relax. We're about to start. We are about to start. Okay. Hello. Can we please settle down? We're about to start. Can the panelists please return to their seats? Please, let's settle down. Please, let's settle down. We're about to start. Good evening. Good evening. Please, 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 please. We beg, we beg, we beg. Guys, let's hurry up, finish, and then get out. Hello. Good evening. Mr. Ruben, I think you should tell your supporters that what they are doing is going into your time. So it will go against you if they do that. So make
All right. Good evening to you all. Good evening. Please, I want your attention. Those of you here because of me, I want you to keep quiet. You're about to start the process. Yes. So right now, what you can do for me is to say a prayer for me wherever you are because you're about to begin. And then keep calm. Thank you very much.
all right. So you have 8 minutes to read your manifesto and 20 minutes after that. So you can study. But it can be more.
We are, we are reminded that in the fleeting time we have on this earth, what matters is not wealth or Alright, please. Alright. Manifesto read by Ruben Obodankwa, running for the office of the KNUST Medical Students Association, MSA President. We are reminded that in the fleeting time we have on this earth, what matters is not wealth or status or power or fame, but how well we have loved and what small roles we have played in making the lives of people better. This quote by the former US President Barack Obama keeps ringing in my ear day in and night. It compels me to ask myself a very simple question. What must I do to have a positive impact in the lives of other
Hold on. You are vying for MSA president, and with someone in your caliber, I really hope you can control your people. So what's happening? It's not about excitement. We are here.
As I said earlier,
Hold on. Are they your supporters? Yes or no? Are they your supporters?
yes,
So if they are your supporters, kindly tell them to be quiet.
I read. Leadership to me means
Ruben,
Guys,
we beg you. We want to hurry up and easy. Former easy, you should know better. Former easy, you should know better. You should know better. Former easy, please. Or else I'll walk you out. I'm just no. I mean, we do understand that there's excitement and everything, but you shouldn't overdo certain things. You want to finish and leave. We are in an examination period. So guys, we'll exercise our right. We'll exercise our right to work you out if you disturb the process that's going on here. I'm telling you. No jokes. So please, please, let them read. Let's get things done. When we get to the debate aspect, we can make all the noise we want. We want to finish the manifesto and do everything that we're supposed to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I continue. The chairperson, member panel, current and outgone MSA executives, fellow aspirants, colleague medical students, my Obo Dampa, a fourth-year medical student of KNUST, and I stand here as an aspirant for the position of a president of the Medical Students Association of KNUST. Leadership to me means duty,
passion, and honor. It means building character and being a good listener. Over the years, I have gotten the privilege and opportunity to serve in my anatomy group. Each and every day, I reflect upon myself, and I believe to be getting better. Martin Luther King Jr. said, not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great. Because greatness is determined by service. This is exactly what I yearn for. He said, without much ado, I will declare my policies and plans and the plans I have to execute them. Policies. Set up a permanent welfare scheme. We all are aware of the unfortunate circumstances that have befallen fellow members of the association, Noble Association, in recent times, including cases of robberies, ailments, and fire outbreaks. These issues go a long way to affect the victims emotionally, academically, and physically. Since the welfare of the members of MSA is my priority, when given the mandate as the next year MSA president, I will implement a permanent welfare policy to make provision for such instances. Plan of action. Part of the dues of members of the association will be channeled to the KNSSM account, such that it will be a lot easier to acquire funds anytime the association encounters an emergency in relation to the welfare of member or members of the association. The amount to be set aside to serve this purpose shall be decided by the executive committee and be subjected to the Senate for approval. I shall ensure that this policy shall serve as a long-term government policy for the MSC. 2. Update the MSC website to cover all learning materials of all the classes in MSC. As the next president of the KNS MSC, one of the areas I will channel my energy to is the provision of academic support. I believe medical school can be made easier and less stressful if we institute necessary structures. For this reason, I will ensure that we update our website such that it contains all the necessary topics like sizable store of transcription, practical work, textbooks, and other learning materials. This will serve as a guide to medical students. Students will know their courses and what they do ahead of time because of this initiative. Plan of action. Currently, the MSA has a website committee and they will be in charge of this development. There are individuals in the MSA who are in-depth knowledge on the website space and management. My administration has been able to take up with this development. The administration is head of course that will be prepared in the adoption of the website. 3. The definitive support program. I believe one of the areas that the heart of many students is entrepreneurship. The next administration will push students when I am offered as the MSA president, are the factors I will put in place to implement this policy. 1. Organize a food festival in the MSC. This initiative will enable students to represent the medical understand their products and to make control. The cost of the trade festival will be included in the budget. 2. Open a wedding. The MSA will create an avenue for all students. The MSA shall support by employing their services and buying their encourage further standing of the members of the MSA. 3. Advertisement of the student businesses, website and a social media platform. 4. Promote the MSA. 5. Promote the MSA. 6. Promote the MSA. 7. Promote the MSA. 8. Promote the MSA. 9. Promote the MSA. 10. Promote the MSA. 11. Promote the MSA. 12. Promote the MSA. 13. Promote the MSA. 14. Promote the MSA. 15. Promote the MSA. 16. Promote the MSA. 17. Promote the MSA. 18. Promote the MSA. 19. Promote the MSA. 20. Promote the MSA. 21. Promote the MSA. 22. Promote the MSA. 23. Promote the MSA. 24. Promote the MSA. 25. Promote the MSA. 26. Promote the MSA. 27. Promote the MSA. 28. Promote the MSA. 29. Promote the MSA. 30. Promote the MSA. 31. Promote the MSA. 32. Promote the MSA. 33. Promote the MSA. 34.
Please let's calm down. Let's calm down. Hello. I'm Vivo. How are you guys? Are you going to fix the way? The time it was fine. Okay. We have come to the MSA Secretariat. 30 minutes before. 30 minutes
Did you receive any complaint from the EC?
Yes.
What time was stated on that complaint?
What time?
Was stated on that complaint?
On the community. They said the program will start at 6:30. That's what he said.
So you did receive a complaint that stated that the manifesto will start at 6:30. He communicated to you to be here 30 minutes before the start time. What time did you show up?
I'm about to elaborate something. So, the EC told us that the order of how you come is the same as the vetting. And that when it's your turn, then you come 30 minutes before your turn. Not before the program starts.
We've asked this question to sort of come before you. You're not the first person to ask this. So, we have information stating about so if you're making you know to go engagement, we are just making you know.
I don't know how I'm gonna take the room. Yes, I don't know because
Please do something.
So, in as much as this process, the vetting might not change your vote, it might change someone's vote about him. And listen, and some people to use these results to determine whether you and I don't know your affiliations with him, but if you are genuinely supporting him, I think you should keep quiet. If you are genuine, because the more you talk, the more he fumbles, and the more he fumbles, the more it affects you. Listen to me. So I expect you to keep it quiet so that we will be able to finish as quickly as possible.
Are you aware of what's happening? I mean, when I doesn't. Any of you can listen. Are you aware of your surroundings?
Yes.
Why are you? Why are you correcting?
Everyone can.
Thank you. What's your purpose here? What's your purpose?
We are here to read our manifesto to the hearing of all members of the trade.
Thank you very much. Please take your time before submitting this. You can read everything that was here.
Yes.
So if you are utilizing for anything, you are you right to do so.
Manifesto read by running for the office of the MSA Medical MSA President.
Are you trying to do you intend to impeach anyone? Are you intending to impeach anyone?
No, please.
So why not? Why not? Do you think there's something wrong? It's just you don't think there's anything wrong? But our friends are here.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think there's something wrong with it. So what do you think is wrong?
What's that included in here?
So are we the right to knock you out since you don't know what you're about? Just by what you can say. Should I knock you guys out?
Why? Because we are human and we are allowed to make mistakes. So, please correct it. Alright, second. Manifesto read by running for the office of the Medical Students Association, MSA President, in the 2022-2023 academic year. Thank you very much.
So let's move on. So you repeated that thing you speak. Where you're like, I stand here as aspirant to the position of the medical So let's go to your characters. Plan of action. When I resume office as the MSA president, when you assume, these are the factors I will put in place So you understand that there is an omission there. Your fans are saying that the person who typed made a mistake. So let's find out. Now let's talk about this. When I assume office as the MSA president, these are the factors I will put in place. That's what you wanted to say. Do we put factors in place? Do you think we put factors in place? Or we consider them?
You consider
So what do you think about now I'm the type of make mistake? Or when it was genuine? Was it genuine?
You can actually write your answer. This particular one. It's subject very quickly.
So 26. What is brand answer? So let's start with what is it?
What is the definition of syndrome?
The syndrome is a group of the yes, that that affects the health being of an animal. So I might not have the definition. I have the balance of the definition for it.
Okay. So point B of that same principle of practice. So you said it incorporates the ASME counseling units. Do you think the word incorporate was used? Before you start, what's the meaning of incorporate?
We have ensure that the mental health of the students are prioritized.
So we meant collaborate, not cooperate.
The question is, do you know what
What's the meaning of cooperate? I presume you wrote it yourself.
yes, I mean,
So what did you mean by cooperate? What's the meaning of cooperate? Let's continue. All right. All right. Okay. I will be one.
I will implement a permanent welfare policy scheme to make provisions for such circumstances. The current welfare policy. I am not aware of the current welfare policy. So, if we are cutting off a percentage of the money that is being used and channeling it into something else, don't you think that it will be a detriment of what it is currently being used for? Yes, it will be. It will be a detriment of what is currently being used for. Whatever is a budget. So it will be the depends on their budget. It's a simple question. So it's going to be the detriment of what is currently being used for. No. It's not going to be the detriment of what is currently being used for. If it is also budgeted for, it's going to be catered for, so it's not going to affect anything. You see,
mention of the fact that every year has their own plans and policies, and which we also have it. So what makes you think that permanent welfare you are going to implement? What shows that next year it will be permanent again? And how are you going to cater for the things that are already permanent there? Like MSA games, because they are permanent. So all these come down from the first crisis. So how are you going to cater for the necessities? How are you going to do that?
Okay, thank you very much. So like I said, I believe the welfare of my students is I believe the betterment of the students or the ordinary students of MSc. So this is what I plan for how I begin to do. Currently, first years are over 320 plus, second years were 430, third years were 270, fourth years were 260, fifth years 270, final years were 260. So in sum, all these are believe that there are over 1,800 students in the MSc. And then if everyone is being 55 students, and I said that we are going to take part. So we know that at the end of the year, the administration is supposed to have permanent programs like MSc Games, MSc Nana. So we are all going to be catered for, as well as going to take, let's say, 10 to 15%. Per my calculation, if I take 15% of the gift that is coming, we are going to make about 10,000 Ghana cedis. So if we are paying 15% of the it means that the amount of money that we are going to take, we are going to channel to, or we are going to channel as permanent welfare fund. And we have, if the every administration sees this as an agency, means that if every administration recognize that every year we have to do this, every year we have to see that the welfare of the students is that because a lot of things happen every year, students get sick, students are involved all campus and do stuff. And I believe it's something that will continue. Thank you very much.
Their percentages that are being paid as dues to other associations.
I am aware.
Do you know what fractions and percentages those dues are being paid?
I know 25% in for the administration. We pay FGLC about. I'm not aware of the number. That's why I said I'm not aware of the number. Thank you very much.
At the end of the day, all these fractions are being paid out. All these things are being paid out. Do you know the net that is presumably net for every administration after these things are being paid? Do you know the net that is net after allocations are paid percentage wise to all the associations?
That is why I said in the manifesto that the amount to be channeled will be decided by the executive upon approval, subjected to the approval of the Senate. Thank you very much.
So, our question is, how are you going to convince us to make something that is not be considered permanent? Our question is, all these years, we never had a need to have these things done. Why now? Why now?
Every leader has what he or she wants like to channel his or her energy or what he or she takes as a priority in the stand case. For me, my priority is the welfare, and every MSc president have already prioritized on that. But this is my plan. This is what I want to do to make sure that individuals, the needs of every ordinary student of the MSc is indicated.
Other policies and programs suffer because of your situation.
And then
Other policies and existing programs suffer because of the situation you hold.
said in paragraph 3 that over the years I've gotten the privilege and the opportunity to serve in my anatomy group, my class. You don't ask, you serve in your class as what is that?
I serve as a member of the class of the. I serve as a member of the welfare committee in my class, a member of the welfare committee, and I was also a member of the health committee in my class. Thank you very much.
Moving on. Begin that same paragraph. Begin the quote by Martin Luther King. The end part of the quote, because greatness is determined by service. Can you kindly describe to all of us the concept of service you are using in this statement? The concept of service being used in this statement.
I believe that leadership is service. You cannot say you are a leader without service. Yes. So that's why I agree with Martin Luther King because business is determined by service. So if you serve people, if you are a leader and you serve people, and how do you serve people? You serve people by working in their interest, selfless, putting yourself out there for them. So if you serve them, that's the concept of the service I'm using. Thank you very much.
So let's move to the third page, the first paragraph on the third page. So, Mr. Ruben, you think how, in the scale of 1 to 10, how good is the knowledge of the Constitution? On the scale of 1 to 10, how good is the knowledge on the Constitution? Six. So I'll ask the question, just repeat it. There's not like websites committee. I hope you're aware. And also, within your plan of action, how do you plan to bring in academic onto this plan? You said was in-depth knowledge and website creation and management. How do you plan involving the academic board from your constitution as compared into this plan?
Sorry. The academic board is responsible for the academics of the students in the MSA. That's the role of the academic board. And through this, when the website is ready, what the academic board will have to do is just make the materials available. Make the slides, ask questions, practical ways, make it available. Press a ruling, a book by link it to the website so that every student who needs something or reading materials just have to access the website and then you are good to go. Thank you very much.
Same page. Within your plan action for page 3. So you said open a registry. Please, where exactly are you registering? Do you intend on registering the student businesses?
Okay.
It was a bit ambiguous.
Yes, I understand. Yes, I'm not. So open a registry for all students that the MSA will create its own registry such that it is aware of all the student businesses. Yes, it's such that the MSA is aware of a certain student business. So we have student businesses like this Beach, we have the food club, we have the t-shirt sellers. All these are student businesses. So the MSA will create a registry for itself. The purpose of this is that we are going to create a trade between the MSA members. So once we are purchasing from them, I don't believe we are boosting the economic status. Please do understand. Thank you very much.
Still on that same point, you involve the website as part of the advertisement. It's a train of questions. So
you are not interested to. If you are here to listen to what they are saying, okay, you made us aware that one of your Ministry of Publicity will be using the website to advertise businesses of members. And my first question is it going to be free?
Yes.
It's going to be free. So that's the first question. The second question is how do you manage the website when it comes to financial
Okay. This is how you're going to manage it. I had a conversation with my friend who is into websites, creating of websites. And then this is what he told me. He told me that the website, if you want a pro of a website, you can get it for yearly at $180. That's for a year. And then it has, the storage is about 60 gig. That's what it is. And then it is cost effective in the sense that when I am able to do this policy I can achieve it even in the first 100 days of office. When I'm able to achieve this policy, the next administration won't pay this amount of money. Do you know that administration that will pay the next 2 administrations? You understand?
The point is, we will pay whether next year, next 2 years, or next 5 years. So the question is, how are you going to generate funds? Or how are you going to manage it? Because I don't see the reason behind you making it free in the first place. So whose money are you going to use to pay? First off, the first $185 who's going to pay for it?
It will be included in our budget.
In the budget.
And it's not only one thing is the association don't want to get money from the people that we are all aware. Sometimes
yes, let's make it simple. Yes. When I ask a question, answer the question. How are you going to pay for that?
We can resort to sponsorship opportunities. We can also take money from the dues.
Yes. From the dues. So I'm interested in that one. So as we are here right now, there are over how many students you mentioned? 1,800 plus students. And I don't think all the 1,800 plus students are all entrepreneurs. But you are going to use me, for instance. I don't do any business. Some people don't do business. But you are going to use our business or our money to promote someone's business for free. Please make it make sense to me, because in as much as we are promoting entrepreneurship, don't also neglect those who are not into entrepreneurship. So why are you going to use our money to support other people's business? What's the rationale behind it?
Initially said, the website is only be used only for advertisements. We would, create Google bright links where slides of the various classes will be advertised. So if we are, I'm aware we are all not entrepreneurs. So if someone, how do I put it? If not all of us will benefit from the advertisement, the academic aspects, everyone will benefit.
So some people have more advantage than others.
Well, yes, we are using habits. We are using like one minute.
You have an excellent answer. Now Now let's move on to phase 2 of this project we are talking about. So let's say six people are selling, let's say, shoes. They all submit it to the MSA to advertise for them. How are you going to do it? What's the plan of action? What will you put in place to sort the things out? Because in as much as someone is advertising, the person will also want his or her business to boost. So if I present to you, let's say, a bottle of water, there are other 5 people. There are other 5 people who are also selling water. How are you going to prioritize mine? Because I would want mine to be more prioritized. So when it comes to multiple disciplinaries on a particular topic, how are you going to do it? What's your plan?
We are not going to prioritize someone's business over the other person. So let's say, as you are saying, like people are selling shoes. It can be that someone for many years, and we are campus. So if, let's say, we put all those shops on their website, I want to buy a shoe, I go there. This person's shoes are nice, and then they also cost less. So I think this person should help us. So it depends on those who bring their products to us to advertise for them. So if they make their prices very high, that one will go against them. But if they make it
so the last phase of this series. So do you know that MSA is a well-respected organization? Now, you are going to use our website practically as a market where people are going to shop there or get food in the house, whether they don't go to this. What are you going to put in place to check the quality of products? One, what are you going to put in place to check the quality of products so that someone will come and buy something from their website and will go and there will be a terrible review about this? Does anyone have a question?
Have you ever received a decision
please, are you talking about students or PSA or dean of PSA? I have appreciated the students of the dean of PSA. What do you appreciate the dean of PSA about? What was the content of it? It was about making classrooms available to students around the campus in the evenings for them. Making classes available. Their classrooms available. They are inaccessible or unavailable. Inaccessible. So making it accessible to them. You were the general secretary when we started having class at the medical series. And at that time, students were facing academic difficulties due to the inaccessibility of the What do you know about it? So at that time, that was the very first time medical students were at school. So many students went off campus because they didn't know about that. A lot of our students disagreed. When students off campus at that time didn't see statistics for that. Do you have statistics for that? For what you are saying? Yes, I had encounter with a lot of these parents who are off campus.
So you care about the majority. You don't mind what challenges the minority will face.
I wouldn't consider them to be a majority or minority. But
what members of the MSA?
they are members of the MSA and they are facing such condition.
They weren't facing such conditions at that time.
This is the exact period that I have conducted my study.
Or so you didn't conduct a ceremony like that.
That's what I'm saying.
Alright, thank you for that. Any questions?
I wanted to know if there is something wrong with the KSMD counseling unit. Secondly, how do you plan on making preclinical counseling accessible to preclinical students? The question is the middleware, the KSMD counseling office, the KSMD counseling.
Are you talking about CAD?
Yes. Have you been there before?
For CAD, the KSMD counseling officer again, and then on campus to KSMD SM.
So have you been to the CAD counseling center before?
I've seen it, but I haven't entered the place.
Do you know the problems people face when trying to access counseling using technology?
Okay. When I was in university, I remember that
when you were a general secretary, the units, we hadn't set the units.
Okay.
How would you set the units?
So that's what I wrote in the manifesto that I will make. I was saying something, you didn't let me complete, so you don't know whether I was about to lie or not. Thank you very much. Yes. That's why I included the manifesto that I will make it accessible by providing contacts, hotlines of the counselors to the student. If you make it known or accessible to them, whatever issue, I have instances of cases where students text me, you have the contact of a guest and this counselor. It's like, it means that they don't have it or they are not
I remember when I was I gave you this counseling and I was saying
thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Just be a cease for now. We have the basics just after the next session.
So thank you very much, audience, for having us.
You have 7 minutes to read your manifesto. We'll scrutinize it with you. Then we'll take your questions from the crowd. You guys get it? Yes, we actually type, so please help us. So you need to control the noise. You don't hear the things you are saying, you just go on. They will not score you as appropriate. They need to do your time, the time will come. They will not get you. So yes, you may proceed.
Thank you very much. The chair, members of the panel, this is a manifesto reading of and I will start with you are supposed to read that. Sure. Thank you. Manifesto of Plan of Intersection, and now is some alone. MSA Presidential and Vice Presidential aspirant, respectively for the 2021 and 2022 election. The MSA has faced a number of direct criticisms for being riddled with members having a shared lack of pride and commitment to being run into the ground by incompetent leadership and trend chasers or conventions. These conclusions, while probably not incorrect, only seem to be a light touch on the problem that runs far deeper. Had it been incompetent leadership, a simple change of administration would be the logical answer and solve the problem. Had it been a lack of zeal towards the association's activities, a shake-up of membership and actively sharing flyers and information would have been the go-to and the problem would have been done away. But as the years have shown us, it is not that simple. The problem may be simply called a lack of prioritization, a lack of focus, and the factors that can create 80% of that outcome. And inability to identify and create a system that efficiently focuses on association and delivers on those priorities. A lack of application of the renowned principle known as the Pareto rule. If we are incapable of telling our association the perfect embodiment of this idea, it will be difficult. The require that MSA does nothing for it for the students, which I am sure that a lot of you have heard before, is highly unsettling because the student association goal isn't only to serve the needs of its members, but also to provide a platform for developing personal abilities in other areas of interest. Don't get me wrong, the MSA has come a long way in advocating for the students' academic excellence, given that membership in the MSA is contingent upon being a student. And I concur with you that there are still deficiencies in areas other than academics, particularly in the standing committees we have. Good plans, a unified and distinct vision, and a clear structure provide a foundation for big change. Our first step as an association in that direction was the amendment of the MSA Constitution, which included the introduction of the notion of pre-document that provides us with a starting point and a clear way forward. One significant development in our development stems from internal management, specifically with reference to direct documents. The world has expanded quickly, so we don't have much time to catch up, and the few capacitated individuals in the community cannot spend all day creating web documents because there are other external tasks that need to be completed concurrently. Not to make an excuse. A way to make up for this is to organize considerably more qualified individuals, of which we will distribute the responsibility. Every year, the presidential and vice presidential aspirants use apathy as an excuse for reduced member engagement at the committee level. But analyzing the situation, it is quite clear that there are many people who express interest in joining a standing committee every year, and their problem is not merely apathy, but rather a lack of ability and skill to carry out the required duties. Learning a new skill takes time, and juggling academics while doing so and stay committed to discharging duties is an inconvenient task. Due to this, my running mate has taken time to establish himself and is well versed in the abilities needed for internal management, particularly in standing committees and with regard to work documents. To ensure that all series of events take place at the same time, committees members will be assigned various roles that are primarily classified into internal management, external affairs, and program and activity coordination. My advice, working on the association's internal administration reduces my workload while seeking external collaboration and gaining external recognition in accordance with the policies we have outlined below. 1. Executing the KSMD MSA Agreement. The team was engaged by the 2021-2022 administration in 2021 to discuss a partnership with materials similar to that which exists at the University of Allied Health Science, UHAS. The agreement was never finalized, despite all the discussion that took place at the time, because such agreements require the student acceptance and establishment of a payment schedule. Requirements that were not met because of numerous obstacles on the side of the association. The definitive agreement, we will present the plans to the Senate as it was in 2021 in order to meet the requirement of being officially accepted by the student, as we recommend the payment plan to be included in the school. The agreement will then be discussed with the dean and the jury once approval has been obtained. We are certain that this agreement will be carried out in line with the dean's technical process in the review plan. And the fact that the review has already formed such a collaboration with the Two, review the memorandum of understanding between PMSC and University Teaching Hospital on health accessibility. Although we have a good plan to discuss towards health accessibility, the procedures for getting access to medical care can be rather burdensome, and you might have witnessed the dispute of ever access health care in overlapping single cities. We will meet with the class administration, inform them of the fact, and renegotiate a less stressful process associated with receiving medical care. 3. Reviewing the tenancy agreement between MSA and Watchman Laundry Services. The MSA gained roughly 4,000 tenancy last year. Tenancy agreement between MSA and Watchman Laundry Services. The contract expires this year. While more than tenancy appear to be the right to serve, we believe that the MSA will gain a lot of laundry services if we manage the facility on our own. This corporate will help support member welfare in light of the numerous welfare challenges we have seen, especially over the previous 2 years. Not that we anticipate zero health, but how do we prepare for challenges such as the ones we have experienced? There are two parts to an agreement like this. 1. Proper self-management practices of the business. If this contract expires and is not renewed with Watchman Laundry Services, the only asset the MSA will possess is the space and the container, as we do not have our own machines. Assessing the percentages of budget allocation in the current administration, about 20% government and utility activities, and about 20% government program, and per arrested, an industrial laundry machine is likely to cost about 10,120 dollars, taking up about 15.38% of available funds in our account. As opposed to the 4.7% allocated for assets this year. We foresee a resistance to the approval strength of the base account, even in light of the profit cost benefit analysis. This is why we employ a win-win alternative, promoting cost benefits, promoting entrepreneurship, where the cost of assets be evaluated and shares be sold to interested students, and the list of shareholders be be renewed every year with the MSA being a constant shareholder. 2. Proper use of funds and accountability. A major drawback to the agreement is the issue of the proper use of funds and accountability. This is why the rate document of the Welfare Committee, as well as the Finance and Public Security, is important. The Welfare recommended doesn't categorize into health support, funeral support, support for individuals affected by disasters, emergency support. In the rate document, the Welfare Committee of this administration, under my leadership, in the rate document, the Welfare Committee administration, under my leadership, we might not have been exhaustive of the welfare of students. The committee is still taking input, subject to approval. Regardless, this is the good start. With regards to accountability, there will be proper documentation of the funds used in the financial report presented to the Senate each year. 3. Upgrading the MSA app. The MSA app, also known as the Practice app, was released on both Android and iOS last year and has received over 1,000 downloads on Google Play Store. The app gives students the opportunity to practice history taking and physical examination in the condensed time frame that works best for them. The app falls short in providing a list of differential diagnosis and in providing investigation and treatment in the sample form as a form of prevention, especially for those at the senior cancer as these are required to complete a medical examination. The lack of videos in the app also makes it difficult to see the proper physical examination. The heads of the various departments were consulted last year during the deployment of the app, and this challenge was discussed with them by the end of the situation. We have been informed that the department are already working on acquiring the videos. Child Justice is already up and running, and they have uploaded their videos to the virtual classroom platform. The heads of the various departments at the time were not hesitant to share their videos with us for posting on the app. So we plan to follow up and do everything we can to collaborate with the school and update the app to lower the risk of clinical failure.
Alright, so next, effective coordination of the standing committees. Members who are well capacitated in internal management, external affairs and program and activity coordination and other skills will be appointed to head the various standing committees. Continuously formal checks will be made on each committee's activity in addition to the official reports of progress each committee will be expected to give. To guarantee positive productivity in the standing committees, members of the various standing committees will be well informed about the committees to which they belong and what is required of them. Each committee's development will be evaluated in comparison to current norms, with a focus on the numerous work documents they produce. This will help members stay engaged in their efforts to further the committee. Reduction and possible elimination of transportation inconveniences of medical students to the faculty area at the medical village. This is a huge problem as it has and still poses a problem to academic work. If the students have to report dealing for classes sometimes, owing to the large numbers of people waiting for the few buses that will transport them to the faculty area. It is also important to note that this is not just an issue for medical school, because some pharmacy classes and the faculty of allied health sciences also hold their lectures there. The president of the other departments and the president of MSA will be consulted in order to debate the matter because it is, in a sense, on a college level. In order to get more buses in addition to the 3 functional charter buses and the 3 coastal buses with a total seat capacity of about 255, carrying about 1,000 students in the medical school, leaving out the numbers of students in the other faculties. We will engage the school authorities at both the college level and departmental level. We propose they take this up and procure more buses, ones similar to the KNUSD shuttles, with a minimum of 2 shuttles, in addition to the 3 functional charter buses and the 3 coastal buses. Even while the present administration is expected to start the legacy project, we will exploit that option, asking for help from a By enlisting the assistance of the alumni, we will find a solution. At the very least, do extra chapters and go further to address the issue of absence of shelters for students during inclement weather as they wait to be transported from the teaching area back to the main campus.
Cannot change anything. Possessing the desire to rest to change is the first step of this agenda. The next step is assistance and cooperation. I, Peter, am a bad God here Christian, which I have constantly yearned for the respect for human dignity. Along with my government and the activities of various Christian groups, and my chairperson, my government, passionate and motivated self, is committed to seeing the MSA the light and mission. With this in mind, I have taken the time to establish myself, honoring my advocacy and coordination abilities in the position of I have occupied. I live by the mantra of being a man of progress, elevating the MSA of a responsible leader, go to higher level by making the most of all resources as my disposal. My running mate, Elo, on the other hand, is an old student of necessary legislature GSTS and a member of council. He opposed family the mantra that this man is serving to God and has therefore over the past years engaged himself in activities of various Christian and some non-Christian organizations, as well as his church to live out this mantra. And have the right motivation for the job, and we want to capitalize on this characteristics to make MSC big. Above all, the reason is simple. The key to progress is making little strides every day, and looking back only to assess how far we have gone and keep the momentum going. The pace has been set, and we believe that the little progress we make each day leads us to the realization of the big change. This is the progress agenda. Don't leave the MSA. May we also
What time were you given to sleep in the party?
You see the community. Did you see the community? What time was it? 6:30. What time were you doing this one? What time were you doing? Before 6:30. Yes. So what time did you come?
Around 7.
Why?
Because we are always no one was there in the place of yours.
definition of a manifesto? A manifesto, or can you explain to us what a manifesto is? Why were you worried so much of the past, giving us that for what all your money is instead of outside in your manifesto? What do you say again? The manifesto is again? Policies and explaining what policies and explaining them. Yes. In your manifesto, I hope you are aware that you made a lot of references to the past and what things are, how things are done. Within the welfare, you gave us what is the welfare fund, health support, general support. All those things are not what is supposed to be within a manifesto. I hope you understand.
I'm talking to you. What you guys are doing is not nice. It's not respectful to anyone, to yourself. It's not nice. Let's all comport ourselves. You know why I even prompted you. You have no idea why I did that. So why are you making noise about all these things? So kindly be quiet.
About 2 weeks.
That's
yes, please. We had an oversight for 2 weeks.
Okay, so my question. So, given a situation where the lecturer decides not to really go with the agreement, I hope you know of other avenues like lecturer that we can partner with. So, can you please tell all of us? I'm going to give you a sheet of paper and a pen. How will you draft a new agreement? Take us through every single step. As a president, because Article 40 says there shall be a president of the KNSMSA, shall be the leader and chief spokesperson of the KNSMSA in all matters under its jurisdiction. So, can you please take us through how you draft a new agreement? Should this one fail?
Thank you very much. First of all, before any agreement can be made with anyone, it has to go through Senate. And I'm sure we have 2 senators on the panel. I know what I'm talking about. So first of all, we have to present the case to Senate and they'll deliberate on it. And after it is passed as Senate, we will then meet with the said people to agree on it.
One specific.
Like the two.
Like the true. Okay, if I get what you mean. After a plan which no be specific about is going to Senate, you mentioned electoral, is that the whole plan? Like, we are very ignorant about it. I don't know where, that I told you, I'm giving you a paper and a pen, like from scratch. I like where you started from, but is that the whole plan?
No. So first of all, if any member of the association has any concern, any group of people want anything to be done for the association, must first go to Senate, and the Senate will deliberate on it and pass it. And after it is passed, for example, if it is petroleum to partner with, you then meet with them and say that this is what the students are saying, and then we meet the dean of KSMB. And the three of us will sit down and decide the payment schedule or anything that there is to be done.
So you go to lecture before the dean?
No.
But that's what you just told me.
We want a systematic approach.
Yes.
He was asking for a payment plan. He was asking for a payment plan.
Payment plan.
And why it failed. So that's what we want to do. We have a payment plan established in place.
I think the whole plan, including
the whole plan. Don't give us. That is why we are trying to stop him.
On the paper you write on it, and you tell us. So tell us.
Prove to him.
But
that's what I want to do.
The sheet was an abstract. Like we are just to show you are start from scratch.
Okay.
You don't need a sheet of paper for anything.
Okay. At Senate, payment plan and everything is discussed there. So before it's part of the Senate, we have discussed about all these. That's it.
See. The first point is that you know that someone actually tried and it failed. What are you going to do to overcome that failure? What are you going to present? It's as simple as that. I came to present, I came to you that I was 50% a month. It's a fail. Right? And we truly interested in that particular product. What are we supposed to do now? What are we supposed to be different? What kind of offer are we supposed to give to you? That is way better than before. I will not bless you with check assessment. That's what we want. Do you have something like that? This is about feasibility of the plan. Yes. Not just understanding, just understanding and respecting what we can understand. So we need to implement that.
First of all, I think we need to answer the question why it's still in the first place.
I don't mind. As long as you implement plan.
Okay, so the payment plan was discussed. Regular payment for the material agreement is about $215.4. But then it was discussed with the children to subsidize the fee for about $18 a year.
$18 a year?
Yes, to the student.
What's the conversion rate for that?
It keeps changing.
As now.
The last time I checked was 6.3 CDs.
So what happens to the MSA dues in this regard? I say the dues will not be much data for this. So you have to follow school fees inflation. You praise your vice president as far as in your manifesto, telling us a whole lot of things. And that's learn a new skill takes time. And tackling academics involves being so estate committed in discharging duties is a key task. Due to this, Barani claims has taken time to establish himself and his workplace and abilities. We therefore internal management, particularly in standing committees and regard to work documents. Gentlemen, please can you tell me what regards have you established yourself? Where and what?
Alright, thank you very much. So I'd like to say that back in SHS, I was the SRC president for my school, and then with that we were able to have an SRC week celebration that we hadn't been had in about 6 years. That was it involved the establishment of committees and it involved the coordination of these committees to ensure that it happened. And so we were working hand in hand with the various committees, especially the entertainment committees. Okay, and one of the skills that I was able to develop out of that was very good organizational skills. I was also able to develop very good planning and prioritization skills out of that. And then here on campus, I also happen to work in various Christian and non-Christian organizations. So most of the time, in such organizations, you are supposed to coordinate people, you are supposed to coordinate a group of people. And through those coordinations, you're able to develop certain skills that I believe can be applied here. So organizational skills, ensuring that everybody is kept to task based on whatever work document that governs each of the committees. And advocacy is also a part of it. Being able to advocate.
What should you the microphone to? You are the one raising it. I don't know whether you I don't know whether you wrote it together for such an individual. You said something about that paragraph. You told us about internal management. What is internal management? What should you I will finish what you said was your answer. That's internal management.
Internal management is about making sure that every documentation is done. It deals with whatever happens in the application. In terms like you have to make sure any documentation is basically documentation.
Basically, internal management is all about
making sure that everything is done.
So you develop your system. What are the abilities needed for internal management?
You should have organizational skills. Organizational skills.
So my understanding of internal management, it has to do with the controlling of the affairs within an association or an organization. And when you talk about me having skills for this internal management, like he rightly said, you have to have good organizational skills because you'll be dealing with people. So you should have very good organizational skills to be able to organize whatever activities that is pertaining to them. You should also be able to have good advocacy skills so that whatever their needs are, whatever they need to be able to function properly, as far as every subcommittee or committee is concerned, yes, you will be able to do that. As well as some other skills.
Really understand the processes gone through to assess what they have had as a student. Have you ever for this again? You know the process that like depending you have to go through to assess what they as a student. Can you help us?
So we have to use the ID card and confirm the details at the revenue service at block A. And they will give you a form. We take it to the control room. And over the any medication or any lab request that a doctor requests, we have to go to the land and do it. But before that, they have to go back to the revenue office, take another form for the land, and send it back to the post-voting room. And if you want to take medicine, you have to go back to the revenue office, take another form, we take it to the farmers.
So you see that general back and forth, back and forth.
Okay. So first of all, it was an agreement that was made. So I don't see anything wrong with going back to the decision table and revising the agreement that was made. For example, when you go to UNS hospital, all you have to do is present your hospital card, and the doctor will look up like you and just do like that. But for financing, we have to go through all these processes, which I think is very necessary.
Alright, let's go to the first one. And I'm going to read it again. From what she said, are you trying to say that your predecessors are they incompetent?
No.
So, what do you mean by that?
I said that the MSA has made a number of various decisions. This is to say that that's what people have in their mind. For me, members having a shared level of pride and commitment to be run into the ground by incompetent leadership. All these are part of the
I'm interested in the next thing.
and prejudices or conventions. This conclusion, while probably not incorrect, may
So, except these conclusions are probably not incorrect, which translates that these conclusions are correct because it's a double negative. So you just said that your predecessors are incompetent.
That's not I said probably not correct. Probably not incorrect.
What is probably not
Maybe correct or not. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm saying here.
Alright. So had it been incompetent leadership, a simple change of administration would be a logical answer and solve the problem. You genuinely believe this true? Had it been incompetent leadership and a simple change of administration would have logically answered our problems and solved all these problems. Do you think it's true?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
What makes you think, in your honest imagination, that the next administration will be competent?
We can't talk about the next administration because we don't know
Exactly. So what makes you think it's true?
but we have seen the outcome and people have had
Maybe I'm understanding. Your point is, if it's about incompetent leadership, a simple change of administration would have solved the problem. And I'm asking you, what shows or in what world will you tell me or will you convince me that what shows that in the next administration we are competent man and to change things?
we are trusted.
So, one, the first point is you practically call your predecessors incompetent. Probably call them incompetent. And the next one is you are saying that change in an ideal situation, change of administration will solve our problems. That's what I'm trying to say. So, let's say I'm in this group from 2016. So are you telling me that the next leadership 17, 18, 19, 20, we were all incompetent?
Everything has raised a number of varying differences. Be relevant to it, remember having a large share of commitment to be run into the ground by incompetent leadership and prejudices or conventionalists. With this one, what I'm seeing is that this is what people are thinking. That's been our problem. So the next line, these conclusions, while probably not incorrect, only seem to be a light touch on the problem that runs far deeper. So I'm trying to say that our problem, the problem we are facing is it runs far deeper than what we think that it's about our members being apathetic or it's about our leaders being incompetent. It's transfer because I want to.
So my question is, you are saying that our problems were, the point I want to establish is, you are saying that our leadership has been incompetent. And it's just because that's what I'm saying.
Had problems. And people have had a lot of reasons as to why we have these problems.
Yes. So
it is not that simple.
It's not that simple. Yes. So why didn't you write it's not that simple? Or why didn't you make it easy? Apart from the fact that you are coming to serve this association, as the president, you know that one of your qualities is to communicate with your people. And one key to communication is clarity. So, instead you have to do is to write this manifesto or something. It's full of mistakes, and we don't really want to address this right now. But then there are a whole lot of mistakes. Whether the first one, your sentences were abnormally wrong, which made comprehension very, very, very difficult. So that's why I'm asking you, what are these things going to do? Are they being incompetent? I'm asking you a question. Are they being incompetent leadership? A simple change of administration would be the logical answer to solve our problem. What does this mean? Yes.
I was trying to build a point. In the second paragraph, you try to establish that it's not that simple. The problem is simply called lack of prioritization. Somebody asked, what are these prioritizations? That's what I'm trying to establish.
I want all of us to understand. So what you are trying to say is, if just the problem was incompetent leadership, then a simple change of administration would have solved it. But that's not. That's what you say. What you're trying to ask me is that if indeed the problem was incompetent leadership, what is the guarantee that a change of administration will solve the problem?
That's why you have to bear in mind. The change of administration, you have to prioritize something.
Hold on. Your statement is quite affirmative. That if the problem was just incompetent leadership, a simple change of administration would be the answer. You understand? So he's asking that this is not with respect to the next administration, it's just hypothetical that if indeed the problem was incompetent leadership, what's the guarantee that changing the leader to another leader will solve the problem?
That's why you need someone.
Exactly. So he was expecting you to have defined the kind of change of administration you wanted. We understand.
Just to that.
Are you that someone?
Yes, please.
Why?
That's why we come up with this policy. Prioritize this.
I think that's an you want to solve the central thing why we are here is to assess the problems in the association. And clearly you have established that. The problem here is the lack of prioritization. It's the lack of focus on the factors that are doing undesired outcomes. I want to know what the factors that we have neglected over the years.
Thank you very much. I think the factors can be seen seeking the welfare of our members, ensuring that we set policies to capacitate our members.
So point one, over the years we have not sought the welfare of our members.
Unless we maybe want to tell me the policy.
No, I'm just asking yes or no.
I'm not saying Are you aware of the chair just yes, you see the sub-committee as welfare chair, just use welfare ideas. Then what you are saying is not that. Basically, what are the other factors? Making sure we are capacitated academically over the years, we have not made sure that we are academically fit as an association. And I don't know, it's just a yes or no.
Questions from the audience? I don't know where you got your information. Okay, in the first place, what is the material? How are you going to explain the material to the members of the association?
So, the tool is an organization or company that designs academic platforms. And on the other side, I have videos and questions and some information and material that can be that tool can use to platform. Okay, so it's a platform that will be able to provide students with academic materials, videos, and questions.
So, from what I know, I don't know where you got the information, but from what I know, it's our administration approach the dean for this initiative. They were there when they did approach for this whole lecture. And I don't know, as I said, I don't know who to, but I really want to know why we make it something of our own.
But then the agenda is told that we have to postpone the agenda for another time. We couldn't meet again to finalize it.
Okay, so the reason why we doing this whole lecture, like I said, the person who gave you this policy should explain further to you why we doing it. The reason why we doing it was because people were interested in the lecture. And we couldn't build everyone necessarily. We wanted to go interested. That was why we were doing classes. So I don't know how we were able to convince all the members of the association to assess this, to make the policy very good. So I think you should
revise it when you go. Thank you.
So due to time, we can't go for a recess. We just want to finish before 1:30. Just have a debate session. Or 2 questions, they just debate, a special debate, and then we move out to this week. So one the other as far as move forward. My co-chair, my chair.
Okay, so the topic for this debate. So the topic is the use of exorbitant campaign funds is a pollutant to free and fair elections. So each case